Welcome everybody to 1 hour of miniature goodness, and tonight we are doing some more Wizkids beautiful miniatures from the Wave 16. Let me just quickly say hello to everybody in chat so far. We've got Michelle's in chat, my Scorpus in chat, BullGM's in chat, Rod's in chat. Hello Rod. We have Ty's in chat. Did I say Ty? Yes I did. I said Ty. I thought I said someone else then by accident. We've got Stuart's in chat. Gareth the Star Wars man is in chat. Well done to Gareth for he did a very nice stream last night which I watched. He was painting tattoos on a miniature, which is really really hard to do, and he did fantastic. So very proud of my Star Wars man. Awesome stuff. Okay, carry on. We've got Corey's in the house. Crafty Tribbles, hello. And Tal. Anyway, so today we have some beautiful miniatures. Now I've added a little side quest today because these miniatures are very simple to paint. So we've got the skeleton giant here. This is absolutely beautiful. Let's get these in focus so you can actually have a look. They're good sized miniatures. This one I will be given to Corey in chat. So we're going to be painting him up today as a very simple miniature to paint. Now what I've done with these miniatures as well, I've just added a little bit of skeleton bone just to help us along today. So that's the skeleton giant. We've also got the Yeti. And again I've added the skeleton bone, and it's very important you have this skeleton bone colour as your undercoat for the Yeti fur because it works really well. It gives a nice dark undercoat, and then we will just highlight the fur. Very simple, but I'll show you that in a second. And of course I got a little side quest in case we need to do some extra stuff. These are the little snow golems. So we've got two little snow golems. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to start off with some MSP skeleton bone, and I shall just get all the bone actually covered, and we'll be starting a little dry brush on the Yeti fur to begin with. Like I say, it's a super easy paint, easy to follow. Hello long stripy scarf. So a nice easy paint today. We shall start with the skeleton. Let's see if we can just get this correctly so you can see what I'm doing. And all we're doing is, again, as I normally do, I've got my tissue. I'm going to add the skeleton bone, and I'm just going to go over all the actual bone areas of this miniature. Nice and fast. This will just highlight all the actual bone. So we're going over all the areas that I've added that skeleton bone, original skeleton bone, and already we got a nice shade, nice highlights, should I say, to the actual bone. Super fast, easy paint today. We're just leaving that nice dark bone underneath, and we're just highlighting the actual bone with the MSP skeleton bone. So you've got light bone on top of a dark bone colour. Some little ribs in here, so good. Let's get this into focus. Let me go back a bit so we can actually see. There we go. Just this tiny little bit. You don't need much at all. That's all we need to do. That's all we need to do to those bones, because what we'll do once that's dry, we shall just quickly go over that with some Agrax Earthshade, and then we can move on to the next stage. Now for our Yeti, we are again using the skeleton bone because this will be our first highlight to the fur. So like I say, when you're painting all the same type of miniatures with snow effects and cold effects, you can actually utilize the same paints, and it makes it easier. It's like today we got the snow golems, we got all the bases we're going to do is snow, so it makes sense to do all your minis at the same time that you want a snow effect with those minis. Okay, so once again we're going over all the fur. A nice heavy coat to begin with. We just want to have that original skeleton bone coming through. And as always, when I do all my miniatures, I always make sure I do all the biggest areas with all this type of dry brushing first, and then we can move on to the details. So we're just going over the whole of the miniature, just adding this first initial coat. And like I said, it's a nice even coat, quite heavy with the paint. You still want to have the original skeleton bone coming through, but with the Yeti, it's the highlighting of the white that makes this miniature look really special. And it really is a fast, quick paint job today on all these miniatures. You can easily get all these done in an hour. Okay, so that's our initial highlight on the fur. Very, very simple, and already looks fantastic. Once we add the next highlight to this, the white, that's all you need to do to this fur, and you don't need any ink wash, you don't need anything to this fur. You just add a nice highlight of white. We go for dragon white next, and that's all we need to do. Thank you for the cheers. Okay, so that's that bit so far. So what we'll do is we'll move on to the side quest of the little snow golems. Now the snow golems are very, very simple. All you got to do is Google snow, snow and ice, and what you'll find is snow and ice has a lot of blue in it. So what we're going to do is we're going to prime these two snow golems with Frosty Blue by MSP Paints. Hello, Tim. It's nice to see Tim in chat. He's probably in work though. So this is quite a dark blue. So we're going to start off with this dark blue, and then all we need we got Snowdrift White. So that'll be going on top of the old snow golems, and all you need then is again Dragon White. Ultra easy paint, but very effective. But the first initial paint is we going on with a brush, and we just go over the whole of the miniature and just add this to all the miniature, because it's throwing a big snowball. It's not a rock, that's a snowball in his hand. Although I don't think he's going to actually hurt a lot of people throwing snowballs, unless of course he's like me in school, and we used to put rocks in the middle of the snowballs just to give them a bit of added weight. Because he's nice. Nice. Even if you're listening, Tim, that's awesome. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is a very, very nice blue. If you're painting glaciers and things like that, this is the perfect shade. And of course, if you're doing frost giants as well, this is be perfect color to do the skin with. So I got a plan today, and while these are drying, I can move back onto the other miniatures. So I got a game plan to get these all done today. And towards the end of the stream, of course, I'll show you the fluffy snow, and we'll add the snow to these miniatures just to make them look a little bit more authentic for you all. So that's a beautiful blue, and that's what you need for the first initial coat if you want to paint snow. Now again on this one, we'll just quickly add this blue. Hello, Renegade Shank. You looking forward to our first D&D game? I think that starts. Is it this weekend? Is our first game with Rod and Gareth? Is it this weekend? I think it is this weekend, isn't it? It's Sunday. This Sunday. I can't remember. I can't remember. I got a little story to tell, by the way, and I didn't realize until today what had happened. Now I have been shaving my head and my cheeks with one of those shavers, one of those shavers you get for hair, you know, and it comes with all the different sizes and stuff like that. Anyway, I shaved my little bits here today. And I've been using this shaver, right? I've been using this shaver for about 8 years. And only today did I notice that the box said pet groomer. The box said pet groomer. So I've been using the dog's shaver on my head for the last 8 years. Because I'm a nutcase. But there we are. This is what happens. That's why I have a shiny coat. Oh. I'll take a photograph of the shaver that because it's ridiculous. Even the little comb, right? The little comb, it's got paw prints on the comb. It's like, really? I didn't realise. It's actually got paw prints on the comb. Okay. Excuse me. I'm going to add some Agrax Earthshade to the bone area today. Okay, we're going to add the Agrax Earthshade to the bone. Oh my goodness. Aye. So we're just going to go over all the bone areas. Very, very simple. This will bring out all the lovely bone, make it look all nasty and dirty. Oops, getting over that. Go over there. Yes, be careful when you're adding ink wash, because it can splash over your other painted minis, and you don't want that. So we're just going over all the bone areas. Now I'm doing this for a reason, because I don't want any of the brown on this afterwards. So I'm just doing this one step at a time. Very fast and simple. And we'll remove any excess with a tissue in a minute. So we just go into there as well, and on the ribs just there, just get the old ink wash in. Not too much, just enough to make the bones look old, and because we've already done that highlight, it works really well. I brush my beard and moisturize mustache. I brush my beard and mustache. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm glad we all us goblins are the same. and we're all a bit weird. Oh, what would life be if it was all just normal, eh? I'm not ashamed to say I cut my hair with a dog groomer. Thank you for subscribing, Crafty Tibbles. Okay, so let's have a look. See, we got that on there now. Let me just actually get my little cotton buds, and we'll just take a tiny bit off, just a little highlight off the top there, a little bit on the horns, just across there, around the fingers. Just taking away the excess. Good, good, good. We're leaving it in the eyes. It looks nicer when you got the dark eye sockets. That's all we need to do for that. That's all our ink wash on. So that's that part done, and we shall leave that dry. Now we shall go back to our Yeti. Now I did get a little bit of ink wash spilt on there, but we are going over with white so it won't be so bad. Give my brush a wash. Now for the Yeti fur, for the final highlight, and this is how simple it is. Now if you just joined me, thank you for the cheers. If you just joined me, what I've used for the Yeti fur so far is we have got skeleton bone. This is from Army Painter. And then I've gone straight on to the skeleton bone by MSP, which has disappeared. There it is. Skeleton bone by MSP, which is a nice lighter shade, which works out perfect. And now what we're going to do for the final highlight for the fur is we're just going to use Dragon White by MSP paints. And of course you can use any paints from any company. So some anonymous cheerer is now the boss. Who are you? Okay, so we've got some Dragon White. And again, all we need to do for our Yeti is we just dry brush this onto our Yeti for the final highlight. And of course, that'll look absolutely beautiful. Let me see how we're doing. There we go. Very fast and easy paint today, like I say. Just getting all the main areas done. Like I say, quite heavy, nothing major. Just enough so we got the nice pattern of the fur going. And you've still got a little bit of that shade showing underneath. Make it a little bit heavier on the top where the sun will be shining down on the Yeti. Like I say, very fast paint today. Okay. And that is how I paint Yeti fur. And of course you can do this with wolves. So we can have all sorts of fur, white fur. I'm trying to think of other things with white fur apart from wolves. Polar bears. You can do it with polar bear fur. It also is good for miniatures if they've got a fur cape and you want a white fur cape. So it's a very simple way to do a nice colour scheme for your fur cape. So there we are. That's a simple little way to do the Yeti fur. So we'll let that dry. And we shall now go back to our skeleton because these are still wet. Snow fox, yes, Ty, snow fox. Okay, everybody in chat, name me all the animals that you can think of that has white fur. White fur, and then you can implement the Yeti fur tutorial into those miniatures. Snow rabbit, yes. Bonnie. A mouse. Yes, you do get white mice. Of course you do. Goats. I'm surprised. Renegade Shank didn't go goat. Goat. The Goblin King's beard. Yeah. Old man. Yeah. Tal. See, Tal didn't want to be rude, but he was implying. Yes, Rod. Me and you, Rod. We have classical beards. We are the goat men. Okay, let's go back to our skeleton giant. Now we just need to start filling in all the actual colours. So of course we're going to my wood stain brown. And we just blast this paint on. Come on, there you go. Thank you for following. Now, with the brown, of course, we're just going over all the areas where there's cloth on this miniature. I'm using a massive great brush just to get this on. Just making sure I'm kind of neat as possible, not going on to the rest of the miniature. So we're just adding that brown nice and quick. Now the white, of the actual hair, and I think he's got a beard. Yeah, he got a huge beard. We are actually going to be painting grey, so we're going to be painting that white first, and then we shall add a grey ink wash and highlight that. Again, another super simple thing to do. So with all the old clothes, we're going just for brown, and we're just following all the areas where there's clothes on this miniature and just adding this very dark brown to begin with, and we'll just highlight it with our lighter shield brown once it's dry. Again, very, very simple but super effective. Like I say many times about painting miniatures, you don't need to add 1,000 colours to a miniature. You want to try and keep all the colours dark and creepy, especially when you are doing undead zombies. You want to keep the colours very, very dirty and dark, just to go in with how they would be coming out of the ground, worn. There we are. Nice. I'm not worried too much about making a mess, and to be honest, the paint is going on very well at the minute. I'm not making any mistakes, so very happy about that. Just get the paint on. There we are, nice and fast. And should we just add it to the front there? A little bit in here. And we're just got to make sure we get all the areas dark, nice and dark. So go inside there, add some paint. There we go. Now the boots will be painted in black. And we shall go over with a grey highlight on those. Of course, we can add some brown to the wood here. So we've got some wood up there, a little bit of wood here, and the wood going down here. There we are. And of course, we'll dry brush that and highlight that as well. That'll have an ink wash as well to finish that off. All the metal areas will be done in silver. Okay, so that's our brown on so far. A little bit missing there. Okay, a little bit around here. Good. Oh, and there's a little bit on here as well. This is a bit of cloth here as well. So I'll just go around here with the cloth, quickly across the back, and there we go. Absolutely awesome. So that's all the actual cloth areas done on the giant. Oh, we've missed the top as well. We've got his little hat here. Let's just add that to the hat. Just move that round. The hat goes down, follow it round. There we go. And our hat is done. So the next stage, we'll let this dry a little bit longer. We'll add some black to the boots and the belt. We shall add some white for the beard, silver for the metal areas, but we need to let that dry a little bit longer. Now our side quest of the snow golems, they're still a little bit wet, so we shall go back to the Yeti. Now for the Yeti, we are now going to paint in all the feet, the hands, around the face, ears, and the horns in black. Oh, I've just stabbed myself with the pokey stick as well, which is always nice to do. Okay, for painting in the feet and the horns and the rest of this miniature here, we shall be using the Reaper number 2 brush. So I've started using the Reaper brushes now, and they are good. They are good. They are a little bit more expensive than the Army Painter brushes. Thank you for the cheers. They are a little bit more expensive than the Army Painter brushes, but so far they have been working really well. So very, very happy with these. Now what I'm going to do is we're just going to go over all the areas which has got flesh now. So just quickly go over the flush areas, the Yeti. And we will calm the black down. The black is very strong, of course, but we will be highlighting and going over with grey. So that'll calm down the black areas and make them kind of blend in with the rest of the miniature. Now, Dragon Black is an absolutely gorgeous black. Of course, it dries matte. It really is a lovely coverage black. It's a very nice consistency. So it's my favourite black to buy. So Dragon Black and Dragon White, if you are after the blacks and whites. I can't recommend them highly enough because they are just a perfect consistency. They're not too thick, they're not too wet, not too wet, not too thin, not too thin, they're just right. Okay, just there, just moving around. I thought a moist would be coming up when I said that. Bull GM, I take it you're looking forward to getting your copper dragon. I think Scorpler posted the copper dragon for you today, and of course, when we get to 700 followers, I will be giving away the dragon above me there. I can't remember the name of it now. Oh. Oh. Thank you for all the cheers. Okay, so just doing the horns in black. We shall do his little ears in black. Like I say, they are, the black is over black at the moment, but that's what I want because I want to actually make them black. Thank you for following. Yes, anybody that's following the channel will have a chance of winning one of my dragons. Every single 100 followers, I give away a dragon or a monster or any of one of my painted Reaper miniatures. And of course, anybody who's actually in the chat at the time when I do the giveaway has a chance of winning. And that includes the miniature and free postage worldwide, no matter where you live in the world, if you want that painted miniature. And of course, that's to say thank you all for being so absolutely awesome. Okay, so just add this in, a little bit on the ears. And back of the ears. Oh, we actually missed his little feet here. Thank you for subscribing. Question, Michael, question. Any tips on getting started for painting minis? Been wanting to do more for my players during D&D. We usually just use printed tokens on grid paper. Yes, okay. What you need to do is, I can highly recommend this, and that is if you go to the Reaper Miniatures website, there's a link below here somewhere to Reaper. They actually do an absolutely beautiful starter set, and the starter set contains all the colours and all the paints you could dream of to start painting D&D miniatures. The set also comes with Dungeons and Dragons miniatures from Reaper, of course, which you can use in Dungeons and Dragons. So you get a set of miniatures, you get paints, you get you get a really nice set. Wizkids also do starter paint sets, but not paint sets like Reaper do. They do like a mini set. Let me see if I can find one for you. Oh, making my room collapse now. Looking for things. Here we go. This is one of the sets. There you go. This is one of the sets that Wizkids do. What you can do, they're like paint night kits, which are very, very good. So what you'd get in this paint night kit is you get the D&D red slab miniature, and what you also get in these kits is you get all these different paints, plus you get the miniature, you get a little paintbrush, and a few other nicks and knacks bits and bobs. Nicks and knacks bits and bobs. What you will find though is the paints. There you are. What you will find with these little sets is the paints are this size, so they're very, very small. Even though this is a fantastic little set to buy and you get lots of different paints and colours, I would highly recommend you get the Reaper set, because what you get with the Reaper set is you get these size bottles, plus you get the miniatures. You get a nice hard plastic carry case to put your miniatures in as well. So that would be my recommendation if you want to start painting miniatures. Now, I don't even know who it was who asked that question, but thank you for asking the question. And I hope that answered your question. There's many companies that do nice starter sets. It's really your own preference. Now, of course, I am a huge fan, of Wizkids miniatures and of Reaper miniatures. But I also love Veleco paints as well. I also like Army Painter. Army Painter has some fantastic sets. But because Reaper is really my ultimate favourite miniatures, and my favourite for paint, I do stick with the MSP range of paints. Even though Veleco do make a fantastic range of paints, I do find for a nice paint set, Reaper is the best value for money then, should I say? Okay, carrying on again. See, I can start talking about paints and stuff all day long and that'll be me gone. I'm like Gareth, the Star Wars man, when he starts talking about some RPG games. You can't shut him up. He just goes on and on and on. Oh, we got a new goblin. We got a new goblin boss. Well done. Okay, we're moving back onto the snow golems now. Sorry, I got carried away talking about paints and stuff. I actually lost track of what I was doing. Yes, Tim, thank you. Yes, it is. Yes, Tim will totally agree with me. In fact, most of my goblins and friends will agree with me on the starter set. I'm actually sending the Reaper Miniatures starter set to Renegade Shank for Christmas, because I've been trying to push him to paint miniatures. I was going to send a set to Tal, but I know a lost cause when I see one. Okay, carrying on. I'm glad he's there to see that. Okay, what we're doing now. Right, you guys are all getting me confused today. I was on a roll, and now you got me all talking about different things. Okay, so we have got our skeleton giant zooming along there. We got a Yeti, abominable Yeti, and now we're going back. And I got paint all over me somewhere. In 1 second. 1 second, people. Okay, for our little snowmen. And remember, you can use this effect for all your different snow effects, and especially with Christmas coming up, I'll be expecting to see lots of little dioramas from everybody. Post them on Twitter or Discord, and I shall retweet them all because I absolutely love Christmas. Okay, so we're just adding a lighter shade now, just going over the whole miniature, and all we're doing is exactly the same as the Yeti. All we're doing is using different colours. And we're leaving that darkest blue in the recesses of the fingers and the snowball. Just going over the whole mini, just leaving a little bit of that dark blue shining through. Getting a little bit of glare from my lights today, I do apologise. And the same with the other one. Again, very, very simple. We're just going over all the miniature, the whole of the miniature. And we'll let that dry. And all we need to finish off these is add a nice finishing of the white, dragon white, and it really does work well as little snow golems. Very, very simple. It's also a nice way to do frost giant skin as well. So we'll let that dry over there. Like I say, super simple paints today. Wash my brush. And we'll go back to the skeleton now. I've actually missed a bit on this one. Let me just quickly zoom back onto the Yeti. I've just missed his nose and area. Just go around his, there we are, just get the nose in. And just tiny little bit going around the eye. What we'll be doing is just giving that a little hint of grey afterwards. There we go. Just for the main area, and actually a tiny little bit going around the bottom of the mouth, just to make it stand out a little bit more. There we go. Just like so. There we go. Okay. Right, so what we need to do now is, we did have some white. Yes, we shall use the white before it actually goes off and goes all dry. Is we shall quickly add some dragon white to the beard here. We'll just get some white on there. Like I say, I don't know how well this is showing today because of the lights in my room. White can be a bit tricky because of I get a glare from my lamps. So all I'm doing here is just adding a dragon white to the actual mini where all the beard and hair is. And again, very, very simple. Now, Wizkids miniatures have already been primed with a Veleco primer, so you do not actually need to add an undercoat to these miniatures. Saying that, I do prefer to add undercoats to all my miniatures, but you really don't need to. But what you will find is with these miniatures, with the Wizkids miniatures especially, is they can have quite a few mold lines, and of course once you've removed those mold lines, you've also removed the actual paint, so of course you will need to re-prime that area of your miniature. Okay, very simple. Just added that white there. I'll give that brush a wash. I shall move in with my number 2 brush, go in a little bit smaller so I can get into the little tricky areas, and just add the rest of the white that I need to do here. There we go. So that's all the white on for the beard. Just let that dry, and then we go over it with a grey ink wash to finish that off. Okay, once again we're going back into the black. Back into the black, and we get these boots done. And we're just going right over, nice and fast and simple. Thank you for the cheers, Mokai. And everybody else that's been cheering, thank you so much. Okay, I'm just adding this black there. I won't go down into the boots yet. I shall add a black ink wash inside those boots. I don't need to get some paint in there. Okay, and we just do the belt around here. So we'll just quickly go over the belt. Just follow the belt around. Okay, wash and brush. What we'll do now is I'm going to use some of my let's see how we get on with this one. Yeah, these are ready. These little snowmen are ready to go. Back to the little snow golems. Now for the finishing touch for the snow golems, again all we need to do is go back into the white and just finish off with a highlight of the white. And these snow golems are practically done. We just need to add the snow to the bases. Don't need to do a lot at all to snow golems because they're all snow. So we're just picking out all the little highlights of the snow now with a brighter white. And just make sure you get it on the fingers, all the highest areas, and again leaving some blue. So I'm going to do that once, and we shall go back over with the dragon white. It needs another coat just to finish that off. A bit more dragon white. Again, just quickly going over. Super simple, quick paint for you today. This is my little side quest today. Okay. Go back to this one. Just add a tiny bit more white, a little bit heavy. There we are. So what's happening now is we've got the darkest of that blue just slowly coming through for the snow, and of course we got the white, which is the snow, of course. So it's almost like the body is made of ice, and then you got that snow finish around the rest of the golem. There we are. Awesome stuff. Simple as that. Right, let me just double check our time. Right, oh. Wow, okay. Okay, we are running out of time. Do you want me to quickly show you the snow bases? I'm very happy to show you the snow bases. We'll get some snow on these bases. I didn't realise what the time was. Of course, it's flying by. Is anybody out there? Yes, I have time, Stuart. Always have time for my goblins. What it is, I wanted to show you roughly how we're getting on today. Like I say, we've got the snow golems, so that's cool. The Yeti, all we need to do to the Yeti to finish the Yeti is we are just going to do a light dry brush of grey all over the black. That's all we need to do to the Yeti. With the actual giant here, I'll be adding a grey ink wash. I'll be adding... oh, thank you, Rod. That's a lot of bits. Adding a grey ink wash to the beard and silver to all the metal areas, and again a light dry brush onto all the black areas with grey. The brown I shall just be going over with the shield brown as a highlight. Simple as that. So what I'll do quickly is I'll show you the actual snow, and again it's absolutely super easy to snow, but it's great fun to do, and it's a fantastic way to add snow to all your miniatures. And I'm showing you the ultra cheap way to make fantastic fluffy snow for all your bases, and it doesn't matter if they're for any miniature. And I've lost the paint for that. There it is. Okay, so what you need for your snow base, with these snow bases, I like to cover the whole base with snow. You can do it in patches, but I do find if you do snow in patches, it can, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I find covering the whole base with a nice layer of snow works really well. So all you need is a little mixing pot, which I use a blister pack. You need your PVA glue. It's just ordinary craft glue. I just squirt that in without... let's get this out of the camera. There we go. So just put some glue in here. Plenty. I'm quite greedy when it comes to the PVA glue. Now I've added some gravel to these bases, but you don't need to, because we're going to cover all this area with our snow, so you don't actually need to gravel these bases if you're doing that. But what is really important is you just get an old brush, and the first thing you need to do when you do your bases for snow is add PVA glue to the actual physical base to begin with. So make sure you've got a nice little layer of PVA glue on the base before you add the snow. So you just make sure, because what happens if you don't add this layer of PVA glue to the base before we add our sand snow, it just peels away afterwards. You've got to be very, very careful on that. So just by adding this to begin with, it gives a bond for adding your snow to the base. It's very, very important, and a lot of people probably don't do this. I didn't used to do it, so I'm telling you from past mistakes. By adding this snow, it really helps the snow stick. So there we are, that's ready. So I'll just do one to show you today. Now all we got in there is a PVA glue. This is white sand. Now you can buy kilos. You can buy kilos of white sand from eBay, hardware stores, and different places. I don't know about the USA and all the different other places, but I definitely know. I know from Europe and other places you can buy this white sand, and it's very, very cheap, and it's exactly the same material that you'll find in the army painter pots of snow. It's just white sand. And for you can buy, I paid I think £12. I paid about £12 for 1 kilo. 1 kilo of this sand. So you can imagine how cheap that is compared to buying the little tubs from the model shops. It's just a very, very nice cheap way to get some nice sand going. Okay, so I've added the sand to the actual PVA glue and we're just giving it a good mix in. So what we're doing is we're mixing it in the pot and we just keep going around. Let the PVA glue soak into all that sand and it just ends up turning into nice fluffy snow. Now of course you can add more sand if you need, or you can take away, you can't take away the sand. You can add more sand if need be. But just make sure you keep mixing it, because what will happen is the PVA glue can make it quite runny, so you do need lots of sand in there. But as you can see, that's a beautiful texture. That's what I call nice fluffy snow. But I am going to add a tiny bit more. There's a tiny little bit more sand. Just mix that in. There we are. Now, this sand, of course, you can use for model railways. You can use it for all your miniatures. You can use it for dioramas. I mean, you can use it for anything. It's just a fantastic, cheap way to add fantastic snow bases. And there you go. That's the consistency you want. You want it so it's like it's there, but you know, it's like icing sugar, all done. Now all we need to do is add that to the base. So, like I say, I've added that PVA glue. So we take a nice big chunk, and like I say, it's like icing a cake. You get the snow on first, take it around the side, and you just work your way around the outside of the base, pulling down like you're icing a cake, and you just work your way around the base, just leaving a nice top area. Keep on going, icing that cake. Yum yum yum. Mince pies, cookies. So I've gone right round in a circle, adding that lovely snow. Now all we need to do is, where we've gone from the outside, all we start doing is we start pushing the snow inside from the outside and just pushing it to the middle. Push it to the middle, push it to the middle. Push it around the feet there. And then carry on again, pushing that snow into the centre of the base from the back. And then you can draw the snow from the front, push the snow to the front, from the back to the front, just making sure it goes into the centre of your mini. And you can do this with all your bases. A little bit there. Just work your way around the toes. And because we've added that PVA glue to begin with, that's letting the snow move across the base a little bit more easy, and not only that, it's helping it stick. So for the final part, we just push this last little bit around here. We're just building around the toes. And we're done. What we can do is, if we've got any little excess around there, we just remove that. And that's our Snow Yeti base. Simple as that. Once that's dry, it absolutely looks awesome. Now what I like to do while it's still wet is I shall go back over here. Now it's still got a nice wet finish. I'll just take a tiny, like a little pinch of salt, and I'll just add that. I'll just sprinkle that across the top of the snow. Just a tiny bit across the top of the snow, because that'll stick to all the wet area on the top, and it'll just give a nice little tiny bit of texture where the snow is. Okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the exposure down, so you might be able to see the white a little bit better. Let me see. There we go. You see it a little bit better there. That's a simple way to do a fantastic little snow base. And like I say, it's super cheap. All you're buying is your white sand and your PVA glue, and you're getting an absolutely beautiful effect for all your bases. So there we are. That's my little my little snow adventure for you all today. I hope you enjoyed the show. Thank you everybody so much for all the lifetime supply here. Thank you everybody else for the cheers. Thank you for everybody to subbing for the channel and following the channel. It's always an absolute pleasure. I absolutely love my job. I love painting miniatures, and I love every single one of you watching me paint my minis and supporting me. So until next time, I shall be back on Monday, and we shall be back with our Reaper miniatures. And I don't know what I'm going to be painting yet. I will decide over the weekend. But there we are. Take care everybody. Thank you so much. Love to every single one of you, and I'll see you soon.